So today we're gonna be making some plant pots. If you know me at all, you will know that I have a lot of houseplants. And if you have houseplants, then you know that the struggle with plant pots is real. It is not only hard to find nice plant pots, but when you finally find a nice plant pot, it's not the size that you need it to be. And that's actually primarily the reason I got into pottery, funnily enough, because I was like, I want to be able to make my own plant pots because I can't find any good ones anywhere. And I've made a few plant pots, but they weren't that crazy because my skill wasn't quite there yet. But recently I've been able to throw bigger pieces, and now I am finally able to throw myself bigger planters. So some of these are gonna be up for sale, assuming they work out and they're gonna be presentable enough for me to sell. I wanna make two types of plant pots. I wanna make a cover pot, and I also wanna make another version for people that like to plant their plants directly into a plant pot. So that one's gonna have a drainage hole, and it's gonna have a little saucer around it so that the water can escape straight away. So I have to figure out some measurements for the cover pots, because obviously the plastic pots have measurements that are pretty specific, and the other one I'm just gonna kind of wing. As long as it looks cute, I think it's gonna be fine. So this is the generic plastic plant pot that I want to make the plant pots for. This one is 10 centimeters in diameter and 10 centimeters tall. So I'm thinking we gotta make one that's at least 10.5 centimeters in diameter times about 11. It's better when the top of the plant pot is a little bit higher than the actual plastic pot, because then you can't see the plastic pot. Speaking from experience here. I'm thinking, is half a centimeter enough? I'm gonna make it 11 just in case. It's always better to make it looser. So it's gonna be 11 by 11. I don't really know the shrinkage of this clay that I'm working with. I have been told that it's approximately between 11 and 13%, but nobody really knows for sure. So I'm gonna whip out my favorite clay shrinkage calculator, and we're gonna input 11 times 11, shrinkage 13%, centimeters, and calculate. I always hate it when it gives me numbers that are 12.6 or something. I know it's not the calculator's fault, that's just how math works, but it is a little bit annoying because then I don't want to have to measure exactly 12.6, you know, that's so annoying to do. So I think I'm just gonna go for roughly 12.78 if I can, because honestly it's gonna be a little bit of a nightmare to try to get it exactly that big. So let's do 12.7, 12.7. I'm gonna try to throw the first one with 1500, and then we can adjust based on that. I am gonna go through so much clay today. That's gonna be expensive. As you saw, the first attempt was a no-go. Not really sure what went wrong exactly because I wasn't paying super close attention. But this is attempt number 2. It is wide enough, but it is unfortunately not tall enough. We are currently at 11 centimeters, and there's also about half a centimeter of space at the bottom. So I need more clay. So I think instead of 1500, I'm gonna try 1800 and see if that's gonna be enough for the size that I'm going for. It's very straight. second attempt, it's looking better. I'm not 100% satisfied with it because it might be 12.7 on the outside, but it's not 12.7 on the inside, unfortunately. So I'm considering whether I should use even more clay to get the height up, because I think this is about as thin as I can go and as low as I can go on the base. So I think I'm gonna go a little bit bigger with the amount of clay that I'm gonna use. It's gonna be even more interesting. That's attempt number 2. We have my first attempt at a planter with a inbuilt saucer. Not my best work, I'll be honest. There's a bunch of bubbles in the clay and I'm not very satisfied with it. So I'm gonna try again. I made this one from 2,300 grams of clay. I definitely need to keep a little bit more at the bottom for the saucer because I feel like this saucer is kind of just for show, really, you know? So I'm gonna try to make another one. I think that's gonna conclude our plant pot making attempts today because I still have some butter dishes to trim and I know I'm gonna get hungry soon. So I'm gonna have to dip out of here. Hi! So, it's about a week later now and I realized I hadn't shown you what I actually ended up making. So let me do that now before I start trimming everything. We've got 3 of these regular straight edged pots. I'm probably gonna do a rounded bottom of these because it's gonna take most of the weight off and also it looks a little bit better in my opinion when they're rounded. I don't know what it is, but like plants are kind of whimsical to me and whimsical screams rounded. So they're gonna be rounded basically. Here's another one. This is the smallest one and I think this is the tallest one. I wanted to bring a plastic plant pot to remeasure them just to see how many of them would actually fit. But I forgot to do that. And then we've got the plant pots with the saucers. So this is the first one I made. This was the quote-unquote trial one. She looks cute, you know, she looks very nice. And then we've got this girl, which is my second attempt. This one looks a lot better, I think. Again, just gonna trim these and then we're gonna decorate them. Might not even finish all of them today. It's almost 4 p.m. and I anticipate that decorating and trimming one of these is gonna take at least like hour and a half each. So I don't think I'm gonna finish all of them today, but for now, let's just start trimming. It is time to show you the final results. I realize I haven't shown you much of the process. It's either because I forgot to film or because I straight up didn't want to film. So I apologize. I hope you'll forgive me. But our plant pots are done now. So let's take a look at them. So I think I want to start with the worst one first. This is, I think, the first attempt, or was it the first attempt? I don't remember anymore. But I'm pretty sure this is the plant pot where I cut off the top, which I shouldn't have done. I should have left it the way it was, or I just shouldn't have cut off as much as I did, because now it seems very tiny. There is a little crack in the base here, and I'm not super excited about the holes as well, because I feel like they're just not high enough for the water to flow out. You know what I mean? I think there's gonna be water stuck underneath here that's just not gonna be able to escape. So it's a bit of an engineering failure on my part, but in my defense, it was really difficult to try to make a hole in here with the saucer in the way. I think next time I just have to aim lower, or I have considered assembling the plant pot, meaning that I would create this part and the saucer separately and then just kind of glue them together, which would give me a chance to drill the holes in before I glued them together. I'm thinking next time I'm gonna make one of these, I'm gonna do that, because it's gonna be a lot easier as well. In terms of the decoration, I'm very happy with the design. I really like the little leafy thingies. But if you've been spending some time with me on this pottery journey, then you'll know that I have chronic problems with underglaze, and you can clearly see it on this pot as well. In some places the underglaze is smeared, and in some places you can see that it bubbled up a little bit. So not as happy with that. But the second one with the saucer is with a similar design, but this one has a snack as an extra. This one has a little chip on the saucer. No idea when this happened, so a bit of a bummer. This one does have much better holes at the bottom. I don't think the water is gonna have as much trouble escaping from this one. And again, same issue with the underglaze, because it's covered with the transparent glaze. But I definitely prefer this one a lot more than this one, because of the holes and also because of the height. It just feels a little bit more proportionate, this one. Then there's the cover pot, the first cover pot. I'm very happy with this one. I think this one turned out the best. I didn't cover this one with a clear glaze, as you can see, that's why it's matte. And it also works out because the underglaze isn't smeared, which is nice. But on the other hand, you can see that the color of the white clay underneath is a little bit darker compared to the pots with the glaze. You can see that it's a lot more white here, whereas here it's a bit more orange, reddish. And it brings me a lot of joy that I figured out the measurements pretty much perfectly. It is a little bit looser around the edges, but I don't really mind that. And the height is pretty much perfect. It covers the pot just enough so that you don't see the soil in the pot itself. And yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. I'm very happy with this one. Then the last one is completely different from the other ones. It has a little star design on it. I was kind of sick of doing the same design on all of them, so I experimented with this, and I must say I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's the same deal as the other cover pot, no transparent glaze over the top. It did get a little bit squished at some point. You can see that it's a little bit, but once you put a plant in it and set it on a shelf, you honestly can't even tell. If I had to choose my favorite out of all of them, it would probably be this one. I think this one turned out the best. Let me know what you think. I have a lot of fun making these because it's definitely challenging considering how much clay I need to use. I would like to continue making plant pots. They're gonna be a nightmare to ship, but I'm thinking if I ever go to markets, they might be a hit. So yeah, this was a very fun project. I think this one is gonna be for sale on my website. I think that's the only one that's presentable enough to be sold, unfortunately. If you want to sign up for shop updates, use the link below. I hope you have a lovely jubbly day, and I'll see you here next time. Bye!